Today I'm in the Italian region of Abruzzo. It's a relatively undiscovered part of Italy, but it's starting to attract interest from foreign buyers in search of a slower pace of life at an affordable price. I'm Sara Damaghi. I found property for some of the most demanding people in the world, from pop stars to royalty. And for the last 2 years, I've been helping house hunters find their perfect place. I've spent this summer investigating the nooks and crannies of the European property market, and what I've discovered is very surprising. Nearly, but not quite everywhere, prices are cheaper than they were 7 years ago, and in some places they are still falling. But where are the best places to buy, and how do you find the bargains? Jackie and Jane have been close friends for over 25 years and after a lot of research have decided to set up their long-term futures here in Abruzzo. Together they're looking for a renovation project and have £110,000 for the purchase price plus an additional £80,000 set aside to complete the necessary works. 59-year-old semi-retired Jackie works in education and 52-year-old Jane works in the food industry. Both are now single, but they met over 25 years ago through the car club their previous partners were members of.
We came together at functions and meetings and we just hit it off instantly, didn't we?
Yeah.
Since then, the ladies have formed a very strong bond. Jackie and Jane supported one another through the breakup of their relationships, but they also share common interests.
We spend a lot of time talking and thinking about food.
We just have fun cooking it, put the music on, we might dance around the kitchen a little bit while we're doing it.
The food-loving best friends absolutely adore gastronomic Italy and the Abruzzo region. Jackie and Jane are pooling their resources and want to buy a property for £110,000 that they can renovate. It should be big enough to accommodate visiting family and friends. Jackie's got a 23-year-old son called Zach and Jane has a brother called John who has his own family. The property should also have a decent plot of land.
I think that there would be more outdoor living than we do now. I like a lot to do with growing things. Our own olive oil, that would be very lovely. I'm ready to take my socks off and trample any grapes for wine.
Oh dear.
This joint investment will allow Jackie and Jane to live their ideal lifestyle. So we've been scouring the Abruzzo property market in search of some decent deals. Food and wine-loving Jane and Jackie want to grow fresh produce and own their own olive groves, which there are an abundance of in Abruzzo. It's a mountainous, fertile region famous for growing saffron and making fine wines. There is also the beautiful Adriatic coastline with its 18th century tabocchi or fishing piers synonymous to the region. From its most westerly point, Abruzzo is only around 50 miles from the capital city, Rome, a place where Jackie and Jane would love to spend more time exploring. Abruzzo is a relatively new market to foreign buyers, with property prices here being around 50% cheaper than neighbouring Tuscany and an incredible 80% cheaper than Umbria. And with Rome being around an hour from Abruzzo's borders, it's no wonder that many are tipping this as the next property hotspot in central Italy. I'm meeting property expert Philip Carlton, who has been working in the local market since 2003, and he knows it like the back of his hand. So what's the state of the property market here at the moment?
There's been a big increase in the number of properties available on the market due to changes in the tax law. So grandma's old property that would have been left normally to have in abandonment in the countryside as a second home has now become rather expensive for the local Italians to maintain. And so all of these old countryside properties are now being poured back into the market. So for the short term, it's going to be a drop in prices. It's an excellent time to invest, and the currency markets are working in foreign buyers' benefit as well. So you've got the euro, which is quite low, and it's looking like it's not going anywhere in the near time. And sterling, for example, is doing really well, so that means you get more house for your money.
Philip's appraisal of the Abruzzo property market bodes well for Jackie and Jane's £110,000 budget. I'd like to know more about how this joint purchase is going to work and what exactly it is they're looking for. How did you discover this region and why have you chosen here?
It was geographical because of its proximity to the north, the south. I mean, it's more central.
I have always wanted to live somewhere near Rome. I think it's the most beautiful city in the world.
In terms of permanent home and holiday home, are you both going to live here permanently eventually? I mean, what's the story here?
Eventually we will. I am sort of semi-retired, so I'll move sooner than Jane. Jane wants to work a few more years.
OK.
So it'll be a holiday home for Jane, but I'll move in as soon as there's something ready to move into.
Yeah.
And when she's made it absolutely beautiful,
That's good, isn't it?
then I'll arrive.
Exactly. You'll do all the renovation.
Queen, I'll be doing all the work and she'll just arrive.
Do you think there are going to be any differences? I mean, you must have differences in personality, some differences in taste.
We do. We have quite dramatic differences in taste of decoration, for example.
I'm the bright, colourful one Jane
Right.
likes. Steady
Beige.
colours. Steady. She likes to be steady.
Steady Eddie colours, okay.
Yeah.
So run me through the important things in the property.
Room to make a big kitchen, because we spend a lot of time in the kitchen together, and even if one's cooking, the other one's there, giving helpful instruction. 4 bedrooms, room to put bathrooms in. 1 bathroom wouldn't be enough for us. We definitely don't want to be on a road edge. We don't want to step out of a door onto a road.
Okay.
We do want to be able to put our own mark on something.
You're not scared of a renovation project?
So long as it's not scaffolding and putting on new roofs, I can't see us up there.
Okay. Do you think there's anything that you might compromise on?
I think we would compromise on whether the property had all 4 bedrooms in the main building. If it was the right building in the right place and had potential to build another 2 bedrooms in a bit of a guest house outside or something,
Okay.
more than happy to do that sort of thing.
Is having the outbuilding quite important to you?
It is. I mean, we love having guests. We're very sociable people. But we know that this place would be our home and they would be on holiday. They probably want to sleep in. We'll be rattling around at all hours.
Yeah.
So a bit of privacy on both sides, I think, is a good idea.
Shall we get looking?
Yeah,
Let's head out.
Jane and Jackie are keen to renovate to suit their needs. We've just got to find somewhere with enough space and outbuildings to accommodate visiting family and friends. So we're starting the search in a small picturesque town called Roccascagliena. It's got a population of 1,400 people and all the basic amenities Jackie and Jane would need, including a mini market, pharmacy, post office and pizzeria.
So this is Roccascagliena. What are your first impressions of it here?
Beautiful.
Yeah?
Very, very
is
lovely
lovely.
old village.
Most famous, of course, for the beautiful castle up there. And it costs you about £2 to walk around to have a look. And also this area is well known for its festivals, so there's a couple of really good food festivals up here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you two love
We
your
like that.
cooking and
We
stuff, so
like
that would be good. There's a beer festival as well, happening very soon.
It's good that things are going on.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the choice,
Yeah,
isn't it?
particularly if you've got visitors.
How is this fitting into your idea of where you want it to be?
Well, we always wanted to be close to old Italy. And we always wanted to be close enough to a community that did things that we could involve ourselves in. So from that point of view, I would say.
perfect.
Set off?
Yes, okay.
Since the financial crisis in 2007, property prices in Roccascagliena have fallen by 30%. And it's particularly popular with British buyers who snap up old farmhouses outside of town in need of restoration and turn them into homes.
So here we are. This is the property that we're going to be looking at. Originally, this was actually 2 properties. You can see they're clearly defined, different door numbers. So the nice thing about this is you both have the potential to have your own kitchen, your own private space, but the houses are connected. So if you do want to spend time together, you can, but you also have your privacy and you can have your brightly coloured kitchen, you can have your minimalist kitchen.
I like the length of it and I like the balcony. It looks really nice. I like it being long.
It looks a big solid lump.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the market for £70,300, but the agent thinks you get it for around £60,000. In terms of the setting and the property, you feeling good about this? Any negatives so far?
No, I don't think so. The views are absolutely stunning.
This farmhouse has been divided into 2 homes but is being sold as one property. It sits on 1¼ acres of land, which is enough to grow their own food, and it already has some olive trees to make olive oil. The land makes it feel very private, even though it's 5 minutes from town, and because the property is on a hill, there are some great views. You can even see the castle from the balcony at the front of the property. Indoors, the house on the left-hand side has a kitchen, which is currently being used as a bedroom, and a large dining room. Upstairs is a bedroom with wonderful views and a bathroom. The house on the right-hand side has a good-sized dining room with a fitted kitchen off it and a storeroom downstairs. Upstairs is a bathroom and 2 bedrooms that are adjoining. The smaller bedroom has a door with access to the other property. There's an attached garage that could be converted into a living space for guests subject to planning permission. It's on the market well under budget for just under £70,500 and could be bought for less.
So here we are. This is kitchen number 1. What would you change? What do you like? What do you not like?
I quite like the fireplace. I think that could be made into a nice feature. That wall could go and turn that into a nice big kitchen diner.
Yes.
Maybe
You could have a bit of a seating area at this end and the kitchen round that end with an island or something. You can see it working.
Yeah.
It's a real hobby for us to get into the kitchen and put some music on and then just cook. And then the best part of it is sitting eating it with some wine.
And do you enjoy entertaining? Who do you think is going to be coming out to visit?
Anybody who's useful looking at the amount of work that we need to do.
So
Brickies, plasterers, joiners.
So have you got lots of useful
We will
friends?
have once we've
Once you've
realised
worked
what
at it.
we need doing.
I'm taking the ladies next door to get a feel for the house on the right-hand side.
So another kitchen there. You've got a big storage space there. Let's head upstairs. So you've got bathroom through there. You've got potentially a single bedroom there, or you could have a walk-in wardrobe. Another bedroom through there. So it's not ideal in terms of layout, I should imagine, in terms of walking through things.
No, we would need to do something about that. There needs to be a corridor created somewhere, and we wouldn't want to create a corridor on the front of the house because that's where the views are. So the only place would be on the back of the house.
So who are you leaving behind in the UK that you're going to miss?
I've got a 23-year-old son, so hopefully he would want to come and visit. He definitely doesn't want to come and live here.
I have one brother only, and he's got 3 children. The youngest one's 18. They would certainly be visiting.
Yeah.
It felt like a good time to show Jackie and Jane the garage that could be converted into guest accommodation.
So here we are. This is your huge garage space.
Yeah, it's very large.
You're thinking of moving out here permanently. Do you feel more pressure, would you say, to get it sorted very quickly, to speed up the process, to get something right? I mean...
No, because we have the means to buy it. Certainly, well, we have the means to do everything that we need to it. So we could buy it and then decide to take our time.
From my point of view, I'm fairly relaxed about it because knowing that it's happening to plan is still very exciting, whether I'm there or whether I'm here.
Yeah. So, plenty of space. You did say outdoor living was important to you. You said you wanted to grow your own vegetables.
Yes, yeah.
Got your veggie patch already established there.
Yeah, very good.
This is obviously quite sloped. You've got a few olive trees down there.
I think maybe we'd just plant some more trees down there because I don't really know what else you might do with
It's
it.
a wasted space unless there was trees in there.
Yeah.
So
fruit trees, we'd quite like fruit trees.
more
wouldn't we?
olive trees.
Yeah. Do you want to go and have a look around the rest of the property and we can meet up afterwards and you can tell me what you think?
Okay.
Oh, this is the startings of a corridor, and the garage for the conversion is at the other end. That works very well.
Shall I go first? Oh yeah, this is nice, isn't it? Be nice to sit here in the sunshine out there, looking at the castle. Yeah, nice.
I think this twin farmhouse with 3 bedrooms and a garage that could be converted into a separate guest suite has got us off to a good start. The whole property is on the market well under budget for just under £70,500.
We see quite a bit of potential in it.
We can see more about the outdoor living space and how things would fit together.
What about negatives of this property?
As far as the land goes, it's great having that amount of land around it because it makes you feel so private. But because so much of it is on such a steep slope, that limits what you can realistically do without throwing a whole load of money at it, of course.
Yeah.
So maybe a house that doesn't have such a huge percentage of its land on such steep slopes.
Coming up, I show Jackie and Jane a property that stirs their creative juices.
Yes, I see walls coming down.
I'm helping close friends Jackie and Jane find a property that they can renovate together here in the Italian region of Abruzzo. With a budget of £110,000, they're looking for a 3 to 4 bedroom property with fantastic views and a separate outbuilding that they could renovate for visiting friends and family.
So far, I've shown Jackie and Jane this twin farmhouse that was on the market well under budget for just under £70,500. They could see the potential, but were not so keen on the sloping land, yet they haven't ruled it out. Next, I want to show the couple a place on flatter ground, so we're heading northwest for half an hour to a town called Gardiagrele. Jane and Jackie love the old Italy, and this area is full of history and charm. Plus, Jackie's a keen walker, and there are 3 national parks in close proximity to the town. So this is Gardiagrele. First impressions.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Beautiful old town.
How does it compare to the last location?
Bigger.
As picturesque, but in different ways.
Yeah.
The other one
Yeah.
was all about the castle. This is all about the historic centre and the scenery of
Yeah. It's the start of the Maiella National Park. Amazing place to start. There's quite a lot to do here as well. Bars, restaurants. And in Abruzzo, every town has its own special cake. This one here is called the Three Mountains cake. And you are given a special brush as standard to clean yourself up because it's so messy, apparently. That cost you £1, so you have to try that.
the brush on the cake.
So shall we head off to the property?
Yeah, great.
Let's go.
Gardiagrele is a sought-after area known as the Terrace of Abruzzo because of its wonderful views, and in the last year, sales inquiries have gone up by 30%. The majority of interest is from overseas investors, and on the surrounding countryside there are some great bargains to be found, with some old ruins up for sale for as little as £8,000. I'm taking Jane and Jackie to a farmhouse out of town that is on closer to their budget of £110,000.
Here we are. This is a property that we're going to be looking at.
Big.
Big. Yeah.
Like the balcony.
This is on for just over £78,000. We know that the owner is keen to sell because he's inherited the property. It's his second home now, so he has to pay the extra taxes involved with that. So he is keen to sell. The agents told us he'd probably negotiate down to around £74,000. It's currently only 3 bedrooms as it's set out, but you've got potential to do whatever conversions you wanted to. As you can see from the outside, you've got a lot of space there.
But at the moment, all the living's on the first floor, is it?
Yes, at the moment, the most habitable part of the building is on the first floor.
Compared to the previous house that we've seen, the land's flatter, so I can see that we'd get better use of the land.
Yeah, much easier.
Yeah.
This split-level farmhouse was built in the 1950s and consists of 3 levels. There are 1.5 acres of land for Jackie and Jane to cultivate, with sweeping vistas of the surrounding countryside, and a selection of olive trees that are important to Jackie and Jane. The ground floor is used as a storage space that needs converting, but could make a separate suite for visiting guests. The first floor is habitable and has 3 bedrooms, so plenty for Jackie and Jane to start off with. There is also a living room, kitchen, and utility room. Work on converting the attic into more living space has been started, but this would need to be finished off. The property is on the market for just over £78,000, well under Jackie and Jane's budget of £110,000 for the property itself.
So this is your kitchen space.
Very nice and bright.
There's lots of light in here, isn't there?
There is.
This might make a nice big kitchen.
Yes.
Yes, it would. Yes. Yes, I see walls coming down.
Would you be happy to live in it in this condition whilst the works were being carried out downstairs, for example?
Possibly. It kind of depends on what work they're doing downstairs, really. 'Cause
Yeah.
you don't want to be trying to live in noise all day and things like that. So that would depend, really, on what we decided to do with it.
You've both done renovation works before. You've totally altered your houses, you said, didn't you?
Yes.
What have you done before?
Oh, I've changed staircases, bathrooms, kitchens, walls.
The lot.
Yeah, me too. Bathrooms, kitchens, walls gone, spiral staircase added.
You enjoy visualising it and doing it and getting it done and the end result? Or
I think we
find it
both enjoy
stressful?
the end result.
Yeah, it's the
most.
stressful bit in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No pain, no gain is what we tell each other.
So, bathroom through there. Another bedroom there. And this is your terrace. So what do you think of the views up here?
Beautiful. Less mountainous this way. I think we would want it to wrap round because the best views of the mountains are out that way. Up here would be living only with no bedrooms.
So you'd have your bedrooms downstairs plus your guest accommodation. So you'd be able to make the most of the views up here, which is a brilliant idea, yeah.
I let Jackie and Jane explore the property on their own.
Oh, yeah, that's nice and big in there, isn't it?
And cool.
Yeah, that could definitely be a bedroom, couldn't it? That other one down the other end there, that'd be the other bedroom.
Yeah, both of them have got enough space for a good ensuite in them as well.
Yeah, great.
2 cool bedrooms
Yeah.
and 2 bathrooms.
For 2 cool ladies. Oh, well, we've still got the views here once you move forward a little bit. Nice patio here in the shade of the tree.
And it's still not overlooked, really.
This split-level farmhouse with 3 bedrooms is on the market for just over £78,000. It's fueled Jackie and Jane's imaginations, and they envisage creating an upside-down house so they can make the most of the spectacular views. I have a really good feeling about this property. Any negatives at all with this property?
We're going to have to put some work into getting the mountain views.
If you're comparing this to the first property that we saw, where is this one?
The house is better than the first one that we saw in
And the land
being
is
able
better.
to do what we wanted and the flatness of the land,
Yes, this overtakes
the previous
property.
house.
Yes.
So we found Jane and Jackie a contender, but there are still 3 more good homes to show them. Before taking them to the next one, I had a chat with Jackie and Jane about their friendship and how it resulted in a dream of buying a home in Italy together. When you first met, obviously you were imagining a different type of life.
Yes.
How did you get to that point after obviously having divorced or separated?
We just know that we've seen each other through thick and thin.
Yeah.
We have pretty much kind of been there when we've needed each other. We know what we're like in a crisis. We know what we're like when we're ill, whether we need nursing, whether we need leaving alone, whether we know all of those things. It's always going to be a leap of faith, but we're just confident
Yeah.
that we're doing it for the right reason.
Yeah.
What is the dream life?
We want to relax more and let life happen to us a little bit.
Would you be getting a job, doing hobbies, joining groups, that kind of thing?
Individually, we're open-minded about that. We've talked about maybe it'll be something that we do together within the area that we're living, or maybe it's something that, you know, Jackie goes off and does some teaching and I might go off and do some work in a food factory somewhere, or who knows.
So how are your characters different, would you say? Because you are quite similar in a lot of ways. You're obviously both very strong, confident, but what are your differences?
I'm more flirty.
Flighty.
Flighty and flirty. I'm flighty and flirty.
I'm more sensible, level-headed. I'm the calming influence
You're the
on the
calming
whole
influence.
explosive
She is the
side
one.
of the thing.
She's the one that grabs the reins every now and then and said, "Whoa, Jackie, whoa."
Stop being so flirty.
Or flighty.
Or flighty.
On both.
Coming up, it's all about the views for Jackie and Jane.
Oh, wow, that is nice over there. Look at that. Definitely nice views.
With a budget of £110,000, Jackie and Jane are thinking about starting a new chapter of their lives by upping sticks from their UK homes and moving here to the beautiful Italian region of Abruzzo. The best friends want to take on a renovation project in order to make their dream property their own. So far, I've shown Jackie and Jane this twin farmhouse that was on the market, well under budget, at just under £70,500. They could envisage how they would make the property work for them, but were put off by the sloping land it came with. The next property I showed them was this split-level farmhouse, on for just over £78,000. Jane and Jackie could imagine renovating the property into an upside-down house, making the most of the spectacular views, and it's a clear favourite at present. However, there's plenty of other great properties on the market in this region, so I'm taking Jackie and Jane southeast, further away from Rome but closer to the Adriatic coast. We've lined up a property near a small village called Lentella. It's just over 7 miles to the closest beach, so great for Jane, Jackie and their guests to explore. The village is made up mainly of Italian residents who commute to work in the nearest big town called San Salvo. It's a close-knit community and somewhere Jackie and Jane could make friends. So this is the village of Lentella. What are your first impressions of it here?
Well, it looks like a sweet little place.
It's smaller.
Yeah,
It's
smaller
small.
than other places that we've seen.
And they have a festa here, which lasts 2 days, which is a food festival, and all the girls dress up in traditional costumes. You've got all your basics for everyday living here, so you've got your shop, pharmacy, post office.
Everywhere we've been so far, a lot of people say good morning to you, you know,
Yeah.
even though they don't know who we are, they still say good morning, and that's nice. It gives you a good feel about it straight away.
Absolutely.
I think it's easier to integrate into a small place quicker than it is a big place.
Yeah. Prices in Lentella have fallen by 20% since the financial crisis. It's remained popular with foreign investors because it's close to the sea, but prices are half that of coastal properties. You can get a lot for your money here, and we found a large house 5 minutes away in a hamlet that needs a lot less work than the other properties we've seen. So here we are. This is the property that we're going to be looking at. First thoughts?
It's nice to see some exposed brick.
Yeah.
See how that looks. I
Yeah,
don't
the
think
front of the
views-
house looks nice.
I don't think the views are as nice as some of the previous properties that we've seen. Certainly looking
I don't like the
across
traffic
those.
coming up the road.
That's a concern as well, the noise factor. There's still work to be done in terms of conversion and improvements. However, this part of the property you would be able to move straight into.
Yeah.
You have got an olive grove here, which is what you wanted. And they actually produce 50 litres of olive oil a year from that, enough to last the whole family for the whole year. So that's something that you could potentially do as well. And it's on the market for just under £86,000.
Okay.
It was on the market for £117,000, so it has been significantly reduced. And the family are looking to upsize. They've got young children now, so they want a bigger property. Should we get inside, have a look? This refurbished house has had a new roof, electrics and heating system fitted in the last 5 years. It has a large open-plan living, kitchen, diner with plenty of space for both Jackie and Jane to live in. 2 bathrooms and a mix of 4 double and single bedrooms. There's also an annex that currently has a kitchen and a living space. Once modernised, it will be perfect for Jane and Jackie's friends and family to stay in. There are 3/4 of an acre of land, plenty of space for growing fruit and veg, plus it's got the largest olive grove of all the properties I've shown the friends so far. The property's on the market for just under £86,000. So you've got a bedroom through there, potentials putting in an ensuite in there. Sitting area here, and this is your kitchen diner.
Lovely floor.
Like the floor.
Yeah, like the tiles.
In terms of the style of this kitchen, I know you've both got quite different tastes, haven't you?
Yeah.
Whose taste is this?
This is hearing aid beige for me.
So that's your style, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So you'd prefer more colour?
I would prefer a little bit more, but you could just put a row of tiles, couldn't you, that had a bit of colour in there?
Would you accept that?
Orange.
Oh, yes. A row.
So that's how you'd work it, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Swap things around
Yeah, we'll
and...
always come to an agreement with a little bit of this and that
Yeah.
to fix it.
Is this done up to your taste? Could you both live with this?
If you were to ask us, is this what we would put in? The answer would be no.
Yeah. See, that's the compromise I'm interested if you're, willing to make. And it sounds like it's a bit too much of a compromise. I mean, if this house had amazing views, there wasn't the road outside.
Yeah.
How would you feel about this property?
Then it's getting closer to what we think that we
Yeah.
would be accepting.
Yes.
What we've seen so far.
Yes.
Then you'd compromise.
Yes.
And how about having your own olive grove? I know that was something that you...
That is lovely. But then would that make up for the fact that whichever window you look out, you haven't quite got the view that you'd like? So
Yeah.
probably not.
Even though they knew it wasn't for them, the friends still thought it was worth seeing the rest of the house. So a family bathroom there. You've got double bedroom through that way. And that bedroom there has got the terrace. And then you've got this bedroom, which I presume you'd be knocking through.
Yes.
Almost certainly.
And you've got the garage on the other side as well. So there are potentials here.
There's too many things that we can't change, like the road, like the views. If we could change those, we'd be willing to make more compromise inside.
This refurbished house has the 4 bedrooms and separate guest annex that Jackie and Jane are looking for. It's on the market under budget for just under £86,000. And although they won't be making an offer, it's made the friends think about how they would live in a shared space.
We just feel that it's so unlikely, no matter how well a house has been done up, that it would be done up to fit our layout, because we are different to a more conventional couple. We don't need 1 master bedroom, we need 2 master bedrooms. We need upstairs space or downstairs living space, whichever way up it's going to be, but we need places for each of us to go and have some quiet time if we want to, have a lay down, read a book, but not be on top of each other all the time, but be in the vicinity of each other, but enough space to work together, do stuff together as well.
Yeah. I want to offer Jackie and Jane another option that I feel would be more suited to their unconventional needs. So we're heading northwest, closer to Rome but still near the coast, to an area called Selva di Altino. It's got a population of just under 3,000 mostly Italian residents, and a cappuccino will set you back less than £1. The plan is for Jackie to make her permanent move first, and this place could suit her well, because it's just 25 minutes to the Maiella National Park, where there are plenty of walking trails for her to choose from. So this is Selva di Altino. It does have all the amenities that you need here. So obviously your post office here, DIY shop.
This is going to be my favourite place.
And you like walking, don't you?
I do.
There's a trekking group from here, so the trekking guide will actually meet you down here, take you trekking through the mountains, and you don't have to pay for anything except for your food and your accommodation.
Oh, that's quite good, and I think quite a few of the friends that might come over might want to do that too, so that would be a positive.
Selva di Altino is considered a unique location because it's equidistant between the mountains and the coast, a 25-minute drive to both. As a result, it's popular with foreign investors. I'm showing Jackie and Jane a property that's built into a hillside and is bigger than it looks from the road. So here we are. Obviously, this is the back of the property.
Pleased you said that.
This property is actually 2 separate apartments, so you could choose to have your own privacy and keep it that way, or you could choose to renovate it and have it as one big property. It's on at £86,000.
Even though it's 2 separate apartments, it sounds a lot of money for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, go and have a look inside, because you may be surprised by the space you get.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually going to leave you 2 to wander around this one on your own, and I'll meet up with you afterwards and we'll see what you think. Not a great start, but I think this detached house gives Jackie and Jane space within the same property, as it's got 2 apartments. Outside, the front of the house faces the valley, giving fantastic views of hills and mountains, especially from the upper level. And there's just under 1/4 acre of land with olive trees. Inside, there's one apartment on the ground floor that has a large living room, a kitchen, a bathroom and 2 bedrooms. The apartment on the first floor has a large living room with mezzanine bedroom, a separate bedroom and 2 bathrooms. The property is on the market for just under £86,000, and Jackie and Jane are starting off by looking at the first floor apartment.
Oh, well, I didn't expect something like that.
It's bigger than it looks, certainly looks from that side.
Yeah, it's quite an airy room, isn't it?
Let's have a look at this view.
Oh, wow, that is nice over there. Look at that. Definitely nice views.
2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms up here. The overall space of both of these apartments would do us, but we'd need to put an internal staircase in, and then there's nowhere for our guests.
Oh, this is a small kitchen.
Put a table in here and it's done.
Give it the limited space would only mean you'd be able to invite a few people at a time. We'd be crowded, wouldn't we? We'd always feel hemmed in. So, shall we go and have a look downstairs? Yeah. Don't quite get the same benefit of the views, do you, really, from here? A few trees to go down.
Yeah, that was not enough outside space.
I thought this property with twin apartments and 4 bedrooms, which is on the market for just under £86,000, would offer the unconventional layout Jane and Jackie require. However, it doesn't work for them.
Definitely not for us.
OK.
Because they've done so much to it, it's the money it is. We'd probably have to undo everything they've ever done. And then you still wouldn't have the outside space, etc., etc. So
Just totally ruled out this one.
Yeah.
So what's still left in the running?
The first one we quite liked.
the second house we did like.
Yeah.
You like the views there as well?
Yeah.
So I think views are #1 priority for the next property.
Yeah, I think that's that's right.
I may have shown Jane and Jackie 2 properties they like, but I don't feel I've shown them something that they love. I've got one more chance to fix that, but before taking them to my final property, I met up with Ruth and Stuart Holland. They moved to Abruzzo 8 years ago and had no problem settling into local life.
First of all, we speak Italian.
Great.
And secondly, the neighbours are so good. They'd arrive with cakes. The doctor invited us to New Year dinner, and we were invited.
Half the village.
Yes, and half the village was invited, and that was so nice. They really do want to involve us in everything.
How has life changed? What's the difference now in your quality of life?
The difference is the quality of life.
Is
the
it?
difference is where we're living, the views that we have every day, and sometimes you think, wow, how did I get here?
So we climb the mountains, we're in a sporting group. We're the only English.
It's not a walking group, it's a
That walks in
eating,
the
drinking
mountain.
group that's got a walking problem.
Coming up, Jackie and Jane wanted a vista, so I gave them a vista. How is this for a view?
Incredible.
Beautiful,
Wow.
isn't it? Jackie and Jane have been friends for over 25 years. They love Italy and are pooling together their savings to set up their long-term futures together here in the beautiful region of Abruzzo. Jackie and Jane have got £110,000 to buy their dream property, with a further £80,000 to spend on any renovation work they decide to carry out. So far, I've shown the best friends this twin farmhouse that was on the market well under budget at just under £70,500. They could picture how they would make the property work for them, but weren't keen on its sloping land. Next, I showed Jane and Jackie this split-level farmhouse, on for just over £78,000. They wanted to convert the home into an upside-down house in order to utilise the wonderful views, and it's currently the friends' favourite place. I then took Jackie and Jane to this refurbished house on the market for just under £86,000. It had the 4 bedrooms they were after, but they didn't like a nearby road or lack of views, so the friends ruled it out. We then viewed this property with twin apartments, also on for just under £86,000. However, Jackie and Jane could not see how it would work for them, so they ruled it out. I'm determined to impress the best friends with my final property, so I'm taking them to a quintessentially Italian town called Casale. It's a 20-minute drive to the coast, and there's an old town with the medieval charm and character that Jackie and Jane are looking for. So this is Casale. What do you think of it here?
Yeah,
It's lovely here, isn't it? It's got a real buzz about it at the moment because we've arrived at Festa time. This particular festival is for the patron saint of the town. So you've got marching band, fireworks, little food stalls here. I don't know if you've tried porchetta, have you?
We have.
Isn't it lovely? This is obviously here for the Festa, but porchetta vans, you do find them in this area, pulled up on the side of the street, for example, and you can get a porchetta panini for a couple of pounds.
Nice place to bring friends again.
Yeah.
Come and stay for an evening.
So should we head off to the property? The mindset of Italians towards property has changed significantly since the financial crisis. For decades, homes were considered something you passed down the family, generation to generation, and never sold. However, foreign investment and second home taxes have encouraged selling in a time of austerity. And that's why we have a property that never would have been available until recently, a detached farmhouse owned by a family who want to sell it. You requested more open views. How is this for a view?
Incredible.
Beautiful,
Wow.
isn't it?
It's
It is.
wow.
You've said wow, that's the first time
Yeah.
I've heard you say.
Yes.
Wow.
Certainly the most impressive approach to any of the houses that we've seen so far.
In terms of land, the Olive Grove is not yours currently. However, the current owners have said they're open to negotiation in terms of land. So if you did want to buy extra land, you could do. This is a shared access road. Your land ends at this side of the road, goes up to the border just in front of where those buildings are there. This garage is yours as well. It's not currently on the footprint. However, it would be up to the owner to put that on the footprint by law. That big barn area, to convert that, you'd be looking at around £30,000 to £40,000. It's actually been on at over 120, dropped to around 113. It's now on at just under £109,000, but the agent thinks you'd get it for under £100,000.
Sounds great.
This detached farmhouse is set up a long drive towards the top of a hill where there are fantastic views of the surrounding mountains and countryside. It comes with just under an acre of land that is already cultivated for growing fruit and vegetables. There are olive trees, but Jackie and Jane would have to negotiate these into the deal. But a barn and a garage do come as part of the price. The main house is currently divided into 3 separate areas, all of which the ladies could renovate. One section is habitable immediately, has a large living dining room, an adjacent kitchen, 2 good-sized double bedrooms, 1 single bedroom, and a bathroom, as well as a large attic. The second section, also habitable, was once the tomato house, which was traditionally used for the messy job of turning tomatoes into passata sauce. Its roof can be used as a terrace with wonderful sweeping views. Finally, there is also an unfinished 2-storey extension which was never completed, and the whole package is on the market for just under £109,000. So this is currently your kitchen diner.
That would want to be opened up a little bit more. I don't think we'd fit in that little kitchen.
Whether we were doing it, whichever way we were doing it up, these spaces would need to be opened up. But there is a lot of space to be able to do that.
There is, and it's quite cool in here, and it's airy. You know, windows on both sides there, so it's letting plenty of light in.
Have you been updating your families about the property search as we've been going along?
Briefly.
Yes.
Briefly. And what do you think they'd think of this place?
I think they'd like it.
There's nothing not to like.
No. You can imagine everybody's faces, can't you, when you just sort of drive them
on the
there
drive
and
up.
Is this what you bought?
Yeah. So you've got a lovely view up here as well. You've got a small bedroom there. So bedroom there, small balcony here. And this is currently the master that has access to the bigger terrace.
Nice and airy again.
It is.
Yeah. And considering how hot it is today, it's still not really hot in here.
You've got a big attic space above. That's got potential for conversion as well. The only thing is, I suppose, in working out whether you want an upside-down property or not and working out the configuration is, of course, you have the potential for a lovely terrace to make the most of the views.
Yeah.
Well, shall we go and have a look at what could potentially be the guest accommodation? So you've got 2 options here. You've got the Tomato House here. That's already got electricity, plumbing. It's in quite a good state to quickly get yourself a little ensuite and bedroom in there. And you've got the extension there, which is in a more basic condition. Needs a lot more work, but you've got 2 levels to that. Would you convert both?
Trying to link the Tomato House into the underneath part of the extension only would be a better bet. Leaving the upstairs of the extension bit to form part of the upstairs living space.
Do you want to walk around the property and I'll meet up with you later and you can tell me what you think?
Yeah, OK. Great.
See you in a bit.
Thank you.
Oh, so, a tomato house. It's not growing tomatoes, but it's got the electrics, it's got the plumbing, kitchen, loungy, seating, comfortable area. Almost ashamed to give it over to them.
Nice and cool again.
It is.
My goodness.
There's a different view on every kind of side, but particularly over there.
My favourite. That's definitely my favourite. So this would definitely be our patio.
Yes.
No reason to move this and do anything with it.
No.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, this detached farmhouse with 360-degree views is in contention for becoming the #1 property. It currently has 3 bedrooms, but there is scope for more, and it's on the market for just under £109,000.
I think we have a clear idea of where we'd ideally like things to be. It'll come down to whether the things we would like to do are possible.
Yeah.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money. What I think it's probably worth doing is getting a few estimates for you. Then at least you'll have a little bit more to work with in terms of making your decision. And we'll meet up later and see if you want to take any steps forward.
OK.
Yeah. If you want more information on any of the properties featured on today's show, go to aplaceinthesun.com/programmes. Back to our search, and I've shown Jane and Jackie 5 properties for their £110,000 budget here in Abruzzo. But since seeing my final property, the best friends have ruled out this twin farmhouse that was on the market for just under £70,500. This split-level farmhouse on for just over £78,000, this refurbished house on for just under £86,000, and this property with twin apartments also on for just under £86,000. There's one property in it, this detached farmhouse, that was on for just under £109,000. We spoke to some experts about the costs for the work Jane and Jackie wanted to do, and the estimates came in at around £65,000. So if the building work came in on budget, the total cost of this dream home would be £145,000, which is under the maximum the friends plan to spend. They have up to £190,000 in all, which they were thinking of splitting £110,000 for the property and £80,000 for the renovation. So in theory, the detached farmhouse fits the bill. I'm keen to see what they're thinking now.
We've got approximate costs, so we're a lot more comfortable with that as it stands.
We are, but we'd need to put a comfortable cushion on top of that because they are only estimates after all. We would need to be buying that house at 80,000, somewhere around there.
We know that the current agent has told us you'd probably be able to get it under the £100,000 mark. However, 80,000.
It is a big difference, but there is that big barn on a sloping piece of land that is currently part of the property boundary. We aren't interested in that big barn or the land that it's on. We also aren't interested in the garage that isn't registered, so they wouldn't have to spend the money to register that garage.
Okay.
We would be looking to give them the land back that we know we wouldn't use.
Okay.
We would like some olive trees as well as part of the overall deal, but once you've reconfigured the whole offering, I really don't see any reason why 80 is unreasonable.
So you happy for me to put in that offer now?
Yes.
Yeah? Hi, Dave. It's Sarah. How are you? Very well, thank you. So I'm just with the ladies here, and they're interested in the farmhouse. The land on the plateau and the barn itself, they don't want. And they're not interested either in the garage, so they wouldn't have to register that or put that through. However, what they would like are the olive trees at the front of the property. So really, they would like to put in an offer of £80,000. Sure. Thanks, Dave. Bye. So he said he'll be very happy to discuss that with them. He said they'll probably take a couple of days to discuss with the family, because obviously it's a family property as well. So we're not expecting an immediate answer, but he sounded quite amenable to it.
Good. Great.
Quite open to it.
Great.
So fingers crossed everything will go through well and you can meet somewhere in the middle.
This is very exciting to have found something that is so close to what we wanted, what we always wanted.
But you couldn't have picked a better property for views, though.
No.
I mean...
No. It's got
They're
everything.
incredible.
It's got the trees, it's got the rolling farmland, and then the Myellen Mountains in the background there. Brilliant.
Fantastic. We'll keep you in contact with the agent.
Okay.
And fingers crossed, everything goes through for you.
On returning to the UK, the agent informed Jackie and Jane that the family were not prepared to accept their £80,000 offer. Keen to make it happen, Jane and Jackie have asked the agent to go back to the family and find out what price they would be prepared to accept for the detached farmhouse. So they're still in talks with the agent.